Hey, it's Tara with Reiki on the Run, and I want to talk to you today about the dangers of gossiping. Got about 4 things to talk to you about, reasons you might not have thought that about gossiping that can cause issues in your life. So, number 1, it can and will come back to you. So I learned very early, I think I was 17 years old, and I said something about someone. It was kind of one of those in the moment things. It wasn't a really horrible thing. But I remember, I don't even remember what it was, but I remember as soon as I said it thinking, why did I say that? I don't really mean that. But it was kind of in the moment, what I thought it would be cool, or these people might like me a little more when I said it, or I don't remember what it was completely, but it was not a real thought of mine, a real feeling of mine. I just said it. And again, it wasn't really bad, but it did get back to the person. And I felt horrible. Horrible. So I did learn really early on that it will come back to you, and that doesn't feel so good. Because do you really feel this way? Do you really, when you're talking about someone negatively, is that really what you feel, and do you really want them to know that? So I have a rule that I've stood by ever since then, and that I taught my kids, and my kids adhere to this rule too, that don't talk about someone unless you'd be okay with them standing behind you when you're saying it. So we don't say anything that we wouldn't be okay with them hearing. Very hard rule in our house. We don't talk about other people, and it's done well for me over the years. So number 2, it really is a low vibe activity. So because that happened to me when I was so young, I did not gossip. I was not one to talk shit about other people, but I love to hear the gossip. I love to hear everything about everyone, and although I wasn't spreading it, I was sure as hell listening to it. So I've had to stop that because I really care about my vibe. I've become a vibe snob, and I can trash my vibe on my own, and I really don't need anyone else to do it. So I have literally walked out of someone's house before because they wouldn't stop talking about someone, and I told them, I'm gonna leave, I don't want to hear this. And I have literally walked out of someone's house before. It is such a low vibe activity. It's just a crappy thing to do, and you don't want to engage in that. I talk about this all the time. You get what you emit out, and if you're emitting stuff like that, talking about people, you don't want that. So don't waste your time, even if you're just listening to other people gossiping. Number 3, it can really hurt people. So I had an instance when I was moving this last time out of Florida, and one of my neighbors comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, it was really nice." Or no, I think they were moving. I don't know. He's like, "It was really nice to meet you. So and so, when you moved in, she said that you were a real bitch, and I think you're pretty cool." And I was like, who? And so I was hurt. So I didn't even know who this was. I asked a friend of mine because I told her I was upset, and it was a woman who has a child that was at my boys' bus stop, and they were still in school. And I don't know who her child is, and I don't know her. I would not know this person if they walked by me. And it really hurt my feelings that she got. Now, I can absolutely be a bitch. I can. It's true. Happens all the time still. However, I never met this woman before, so for her to say something like that, it really, really hurt my feelings. Like, I hadn't even been a bitch to her yet. And I was getting this blame. So, luckily, I am where I am now, and I can get through that stuff pretty fast. But had that happened 5 years ago, I would have been devastated. It would have really eaten me up. And I don't think any of us want that. I don't think when people are gossiping about other people, I don't think people are sitting there thinking, oh, I hope she finds out and she just lays in the fetal all day and is in so much pain. I don't think that's what we want, but we have to realize that that's the effect that it can have. That when you talk about people and it comes back to them, which it will, that it can really affect them. It can really hurt a person. You know, a lot of us suffer through things that other people would never know that we were suffering. They don't realize that things affect us the way that we do because we're so good at hiding things. So please keep that in mind, that you don't really want someone to feel like a piece of shit. So don't say nasty things about them and don't engage in it. If you're engaging in it, even if you're just listening like I used to, not good. Okay? And then the last one, it can cause the loss of precious relationships. And in two ways. The first way, and this has happened to me several times before, years ago, when I used to just base my truths on what other people would say. If someone would tell me something about someone, I would assume it was true and I would stay away from them and I would not have anything to do with them. And several times over the years, that has blown up in my face, and I found out later, you know, usually years later, when I really got to know this person that I made all these judgments about without knowing, I actually really liked them. And it wasn't the case of what these people were telling me. You have to remember, when people are gossiping, there are three sides to every story: his side, her side, and the truth. You know, we all have our different perceptions, and if somebody feels wronged, it doesn't matter what really happened. Their perception is what you're going to get. So just keep that in mind when you're listening. You know, people get hurt or perceive they've been hurt. It's really up to you to allow someone to hurt you, because you can respond and have that whatever perception you want. But just know that that's the story that you're getting, is the their hurt version, and not necessarily the other person's intention version. I don't know how many times I've had an interaction with someone where they perceive something completely different than I intended, completely different, and it doesn't have to be an argument or a bitchy moment or anything like that. Just my kids and I do it all the time. We laugh about it. One of them will say something, and the other two of us will hear something completely different than what they said. So you just have to be careful. Very important that you make your own decisions when it comes to relationships, when it comes to anything really, but especially when it comes to relationships with people. And you know, don't lose a possibility of a good friendship with someone because of something someone else says, someone who was probably feeling hurt. Don't do it. And it doesn't matter to me. I've never been, you know, I don't really understand that. If you don't like someone, I can't like them. It's a separate thing. It's really silly. So the second way you can lose friendships is anyone who's talking to you about someone. You'll be next. You'll be next. I know right away when I meet someone and they are constantly talking shit about someone, to me, about someone, I know that it's only a matter of time before I'm the one that they're talking about. And it's happened time and time again. Anyone who I'm around who is constantly negatively talking about someone else will end up doing the same towards me. It's a given. So I've just made it a thing. If I meet someone and they feel the need to badmouth other people, whether I know those people or not, I just know I won't get close with these people. I won't offer them close-ups of my life, personal information. I won't confide in them because I know it's only a matter of time. So hopefully this helps you in your day-to-day goings-on. Just be aware. Sometimes I think we're not aware. Sometimes it's normal. I mean, I haven't worked a 9-to-5 job in a long time, but sometimes it's just normal for people to do. It's a common thing people can talk about. You know, talk about someone that's a jerk, or, you know, it's just a thing. Especially women like to catty talk about other people, and you might not even realize it's happening. So just be aware, because it does affect your whole being in ways that you may not have realized. It affects your vibe, which is very important that we keep that up. And like I said, I can get into a bitchy mood. I can be sad. I can do lots of things to get my vibe down on my own. I don't need the help of other people. And it's just a silly thing to engage in. So hopefully this helps you and makes you more aware. And I will talk to you soon.